Welcome to Spanish Fork Baseball. Tonight they'll be facing the Salem Hills Skyhawks here on SFCN. My name is Ben Moore and I'll be your host today. The Spanish Fork team coming off of 3 wins, looking very, very good this year, ranked first in the district in their 4A class, and they'll be looking to improve upon this. It's just the start of district play, only a couple games in. And for Salem Hills, I believe it's actually the first game of district play. The pitcher here is still getting warmed up, as well as the Salem Hills batters over there on the side. And Salem Hills not looking too strong this year. Their record looks like I got here is at 8-6. Again, that's non-district play we're coming into here. And of course, Spanish Fork, a perennial powerhouse here in the district. 2 years ago winning the title. Last year also having a solid season, but getting taken out by Pleasant Grove. We'll see what they can do here tonight. It should be a good game, but we should see Spanish Fork the upper hand throughout most of the game. First pitch. That's ball 1. And that'll be another ball. So getting down the count is number 11, Nielsen, for Spanish Fork. And he gets his first strike. He'll try and work his way back here. And strike number 2, so count's evened up at 2-2. And if I didn't get you the batting order, up to bat now is Jacqueline Coleman. And it's a third strike. So with already 1 out, quick for Spanish Fork, they'll look to get a second here. And coming up to bat,
now batting the right fielder, number 8, Caleb Centeno.
It'll be Caleb Centeno, number 8. Now I'm just going a little low of the batter's knees. That one was a strike, just catching the bottom of that strike zone. It was close to the first one, but Nielsen was able to get it just high enough inside that zone. So the count is evened up at 1-1, and there he swing. That'll make the count 1-2. And a wide ball off to the left. That one might have gotten away from Nielsen. And a hit. Ground ball over to the second baseman and gets it to first in time. That'll be the second out. So Spanish Fork here getting 2 quick outs. And that will bring up Mason Mickelson,
the third baseman, number 27,
third baseman.
McClellan.
Sorry, I think I might have butchered that name. It would be Jason McClellan. Another right-handed batter. And that one lost, however, there wasn't anyone on base. So that will not be a problem for the Spanish Fork Dons. Catch a break there. But the count now is 1 ball and 0 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. And that one right down the middle for a strike. Umpire takes minutes to call that one. Obviously close, however, will be a ball. Count 2-1. And gets the swing on that one for strike 2. Nelson looking like he's coming in here and setting himself up to have a very good game tonight. And that one will be hit, but will be a foul ball, hitting high and over our heads to the right. Count will remain at 2-2. And that's strike number 3. So Nelson brings the top half of the first inning to an end with 3 outs. That'll bring up the Salem Hill Skyhawks in just a minute, but first we'd like to thank our sponsors, who are of course the Car Guys, Lance Wilson from State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikhail Christensen Wise, and Dickerson Automotive. Thanks for all you do. This would not be possible without you, and it's really great that we can broadcast this game to all the Spanish Fork residents, everyone who can't make it out to the game. They're able to look and see their friends and family play at this baseball field. So that's a really great opportunity that we have here at SFCN because of those sponsors. So warming up for pitch will be Carter Sorensen. And the batting lineup for the Spanish Fork Dons will be Brady Brook, followed by Tanner Argyle, followed up by Lee Nilsson and Briggs Newman. He'll be followed by Brandon Bradford and Josh Caden. So here's coming to bat is number 2, Brady Brook.
Leading off the Dons in the bottom of the first inning, the center fielder, number 2, Brady Brook.
Brady Brook, another left-handed batter. We'll see how that affects things. And he gets a hit on the first swing. It goes long into the outfield and left field. He'll only get to first base. However, a solid hit to start out the inning. The Dons already showing their skills in this first inning. They are clearly the superior team here. We can see if Salem Hills can be scrappy tonight and make this thing competitive. And another hit. That one is high into right field. And there's 3 guys there to catch. And one of them got it. So that will be the first out. But even with that out, Spanish Fork has gotten 2 hits on 2 pitches. That's got to make you feel confident coming into the bottom of this first inning.
Now batting the pitcher, number 11, Cy Nilsson.
So Ly Nilsson will be stepping to the plate as the 3rd batter in this batting lineup. They try for a steal right there, and they try and get him out. However, the pass is missed, so he'll easily walk to first base, or to a light jog. So Brady Brook advancing. Ly Nilsson steps back into the box. And oh wow, and a loose ball there at first base. That'll allow Brady Brook to get to 3rd. These errors are beginning to pile up for Salem Hills. So that will of course be a ball as it hits the dirt to count 1-0. And another pitch that the catcher could not collect Catcher being number 19, Tommy Olson. And there's a hit, but it will be foul ball, heading high and to the right, landing almost in the garbage cans to the right of the stadium. That means the count is now brought to 2-1. And Nelson steps back into the box. And a hit to left field, a great hit just between the infielders and outfielders. It bounces over the outfielder's head and allows Ly Nelson to get all the way to second, which of course will bring home Brady Brook for the first score of the game and put Spanish Fork up 1-0.
Running speed up, number 13, Carson Chappell.
And as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, Spanish Fork is coming into this game having a few wins under their belt on a three-win win streak. However, they haven't been scoring too high in these games. It's been fairly low, around 2 or 3 runs per game. Tonight's looking like they're looking to start off early and get that score up, make this game over before the bottom of the first inning. And there's a strike. Thrown in by Cade Hancock. Count 0-1. And he gets back in time. Lee Nelson, that was a pitch thrown to the dirt. However, the catcher was able to recover quick enough. Second baseman leads off. Lee Nelson will return to the base. That'll be ball number 2. And these pitches are really looking quite dangerous from Cade Hancock. He seems to not have confidence today. It might be from that first pitch that he threw into the dirt. And there's another ball, barely collected by the catcher. He gets it back in time to avoid the steal by Lee Nelson. And they'll take a minute to talk about it at the mound. This might be a good thing to do. I mean, you never know what's going through your pitcher's head. Tommy just wants to make sure that it's not too hard on himself. But he's got to get his act together here because he's down in the count 3-1. And in every other batter tonight, he's also been throwing a lot of not just balls, but way outside. And he gets a hit on that one, but it's caught. So that'll be the second out of the inning. That was by Briggs Newman over at One Mount Anything as the fly ball is caught at the edge of the infield. So Brendan Bradford, number 20, will come to the plate. And that one high and inside. Brendan looking almost as if he might get hit by that one, but turns his shoulder. And that one's hit, a ground ball over to the shortstop, gets it back to first in time for the third out. Brendan Bradford will then return to the bench and to the dugout, and we'll go to break here. Spanish Fork up 1-0 at the bottom of the first inning. We'll see you guys on the other side. And welcome back to this game between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Salem Hills Skyhawk. You're watching high school baseball here on Spanish Fork Community Network. Thanks for joining us. And right now, if you're just joining us, the score is 1-0, advantage the Spanish Fork Dons. And we're entering the top of the second inning. This game so far going just as we might have expected, as there's a ground ball thrown by Ly Nelson. This game, as I was saying, going as we might have expected. Spanish Fork coming in here as the favorites. There's another low ball. Catcher's able to corral it in. And another ball wide left. Lyon Nelson is looking a lot different in this inning as he did the last one. The pitch, or the count 3-0, and he'll walk him. That one also hitting the dirt. So 4 straight balls.
Now batting the pitcher, number 15, Cade Hancock.
Now allowed Caden Kuntz to get to first base. I'll bring up the pitcher for Salem Hills, Cade Hancock. And that one low and left. The catcher loses sight of it. And that allowed Caden Kuntz to get to second base. They'll have a quick meeting here at the mound. Looks like the second baseman just wanted to talk something over with Lane Nelson. Count here 1-0. And there's a strike. So he'll even things up at 1-1. Again, we have a runner on second. And there's a hit. It flies high left. Looks like it could be caught, and it is. He'll throw it back in, and the runner will return to second, smart enough to know that it would have been very risky to try to get to third. So Caden Kuntz remains on second base, while Cade Hancock will return to the dugout. This brings up Kyle Coburn, the second baseman. He'll step into the batter's box. Calls for a second to readjust. Get himself loose. And there's a strike, a curveball. It looked to be high right, but it curved into that strike zone in the last minute. So the count 0-1. Nilsson, after that talk on the mound, seems to be doing much better. And there's a strike. Carter Sorensen, number 1, swung at that. Tried to stop it in time, but he could not. And there's a correction right there. It's Carter Sorensen up for bat, not Kyle Coburn. And there's a full swing. Looks like that will be the third strike. So now there's 2 outs.
Now batting the second baseman.
And now Kyle Coburn will come up to bat. And there's strike number 1. So I believe that's 4 straight strikes after Lee Nelson's 4 straight balls. So looks like he's back on track here. And there's another swing for strike number 2. So again, the count 0-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the second. And there's strike number 3. So that will be the third out. The teams will return to their dugouts to talk things over for a minute, and then we will be coming back with the bottom of the second. However, before we get there, let's take a second to thank our sponsors. There are, of course, the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Kel Christensen Wise, and Dickerson Automotive. Thanks for all you do and for allowing us to broadcast this baseball game and many other sporting events to all of Spanish Fork. And of course, we'd like to encourage you to follow SSCN, Spanish Fork Community Network, on our social on our social media accounts, including Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can keep up with the latest shows. You can even catch live broadcasts and keep up with our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17.
We just play ball, 18. Won't you sign him? Join my roster.
So number 7, Josh Caden,
Leading up to the Dons in the bottom of the second
coming
inning.
to bat.
The catcher, number 7, Josh Cowden.
And he gets a hit. However, that will go foul ball with the spin on that thing. At the beginning it was in play, but the spin made it bounce out of bounds. Today, really a perfect day for baseball, low 50s. We're all glad that it warmed up since the last few days have been rainy. And that pitch low and to the left will be ball number 1. To count 1-1. And there's a hit. Will be foul ball. High over our heads to the left. Josh Cowden steps out of the box for a minute as they get a new ball in. And in this inning, it looks like Carter Sorensen is pitching with a lot more confidence. In fact, this inning seems to really be almost a switch of the first inning as the count evens up at 2-2 with that ball there. And another swing. That will be strike number 3 for the first out. And as I was saying, it looks like this inning is really a switch of the first inning. Lee Nelson coming in,
Now batting.
not pitching too well in the second inning as he was really good in the first.
Newman.
And this one is Carter Sorensen coming in and really pitching a solid first out with 3 strikes. And there's another hit. It'll fly back and hit the fence for a foul ball. And that one almost hit the dirt. Catcher Tommy Olson able to recover it. And that one did hit the dirt. Tommy caught it on the bounce. Gets it back to the pitcher. So the count, now 2 balls, 1 strike. But it's 1 out, bottom of the second. And that one will be ball number 3. So Carter Sorensen down the count. We'll see how he performs under pressure. And he gets a hit, but it's collected. And there's plenty of time thrown to the first baseman. So that'll be out number 2 for Salem Hills. He seems to be playing much better this time on defense.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, Andrew Pinside.
As you remember, in the first inning, Spanish Fork came off with 2 hits in the 2 first pitches. Of course, one of those was caught, but the first hit did lead to a run. A couple more hits down the road with the help of Lee Nilsson and Brandon Bradford. So now at bat we have Ty Newman. That's a hit. However, the fly ball will be caught. And that will bring us to the end of the second inning. So the score still is Spanish Fork 1, Salem Hills 0. And stay with us and we'll get you in with the third inning here on Spanish Fork Community Network. Welcome back to Spanish Fork Community Network. You're watching high school baseball with SF17. Today's matchup is between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Salem Hills Skyhawks. You're joining us at the top of the third inning, and the score is 1-0, advantage Dons. And that's a strike, just catching that corner of the strike zone. And up for bat is Cam Mattiela. That one fouling into the fence. The count will be 0-2. And that one low, almost in the dirt for ball 1. And a swing. That'll be strike number 3. So the first out is already in the books for Ly Nilsson and the Spanish Fork Dons here in the top of the third.
The shortstop, number 22, Blake Hofines.
And you know, you can tell that a lot more about a game when you're watching it rather than just looking at the scoreboard. And here we've seen the Salem Hills Skyhawks really not make the outfield, or the infield for that matter, of the Dons work that hard. Lee Nilsson has been doing an excellent job of keeping runners from even getting to base, whether that's with strikeouts or with short ground balls that the infield can lob over to first. Spanish Fork has really not put too much of a game together. I believe the furthest anyone has gotten is one runner got to second base. And that one way left for ball 2. The count will now be 2-1. And that one also low. Catcher almost couldn't collect it. With no one on base, there wasn't much danger there. Count 3-1. And there's a strike right down the middle. That's the count. All full here at the top of the third with 1 out. And a ball. So Lee Nilsson walking his second runner of the night. He'll look to improve here. It looks like there's a pinch hitter, Coleman Jackman, is up to bat. That first one coming in for a ball. Now coming in for the second ball. So the count 2-0. The runner leads off at first. Nelson thinks about throwing. But throws the pitch, which is lost. The catcher recovers quick enough. And no one tries to go anywhere. He goes to the mound to have a short talk with his pitcher. And that really was short. He gets all the way over there and decides to come right back. Lee Nelson will prepare to throw down on the count 3-0. And that's a strike. Last time he had a talk with his pitcher, that is the catcher of the Dons. He threw 4 straight strikes, so we'll see if they can do that here, and he will not. That one very low for ball number 4. Lee Nelson now throwing 8 balls at the start of this inning and having 2 walks come from it.
Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Caleb Centeno.
Caleb Centeno, number 8, will come in to bat for Salem Hills. Nelson thinks about throwing, keeping the base runners honest. However, they both lead off again anyway. Again, runners at first and second. And there's a hit. It will be a foul ball. And there's 1 out in this inning with 1 strike. And there's strike number 2. As I was saying earlier, last time Josh Cowden talked to his pitcher, he certainly shaped up for the rest of that inning. We'll see if he can do it here. He did throw one more ball after that talk. However, he has now thrown a couple of strikes. Looks to be getting back into a rhythm. Well, I spoke too soon. That one very short. Hits the dirt, almost the edge of the ring there. Luckily, no one advances. Josh Cowden gets back to his catcher's position, and they'll look to get a third strike here with the count 1-2. And that one hit, but I can't tell if it was hit by the bat or his arm of number 8, Caleb Centeno. Either way, it will count as a foul ball, which, of course, the count right now being 1-2, it won't make a difference. I'll get another shot at this one. And that one swung on and missed. That'll be strike number 3. So again, runners on first and second. And the third baseman, Mason McClellan, will come into bat. Lee Nelson taking his time with this pitch, making sure the runners don't get too far of a head start. And that one, another ball thrown into the dirt, bringing the count to 1-0. And of course, it really may be overstated, but the importance of that first pitch is huge. Getting up or down in the count. But with that second pitch, it's a strike. Lee Nelson evens it up. That being another ball, 2-1. Runners reset back at their bases. And they really got to be careful here. This looks a lot like the bottom of the first inning, where Salem Hills did a similar thing, throwing many wild balls and wild pitches and letting Spanish Fork advance. Here the pitches have been close to getting away from the catcher, Josh, for the Dons. He's been able to recover them, but you have 2 runners on base right now, and you can't afford to throw wild pitches. There's another one, however, it will be caught, but it's a ball, and they will all advance anyway. That is the third walk of this inning for Lee Nelson. All the runners on the bases have come from that. He needs to get his confidence back here, or Spanish Fork could be in for a long day, and this could really turn into a baseball game. That one high for ball number 1. Number 2, Caden Kuntz, up for bat for Salem Hills. That one low in the dirt. With the bases loaded, no one tries to steal. Josh Cowden will come for another talk with his pitcher. Looks like coaches decided to have a little talk too. Everyone comes to the mound. And the Salem Hills coach takes Caden aside to talk to him as well. I always find it a mark of a great coach if they don't let their players stand out there. If the other team is meeting on the mound, you want to take that time to inform your team about something they could do better or about some strategy you want to use. If you just let your players stand out there while the other team's meeting, they don't know what to do themselves, and many times it can get them out of their rhythm. And there's another ball. That one looked just high. So that's 3 balls, 0 strikes. And there's ball number 4. So number 22, Blake Hoffins, comes in with his first run. If you would have asked me coming into this game if I would have thought that there would have been a run scored off of 4 straight walks, I would not have believed you. Well, that's what just happened. And there's another ball. The count, 1-0. And another pitch low. The count, 2-0. Lai Nelson is a good pitcher. He just needs to get his mind right here in the top of the 3rd inning. And there it is. There's a strike. We'll see if that can turn things around here. And strike number 2. The count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And there's strike number 3. Or, excuse me, it looks like he did get a piece of that. So that will not count as a strike. It'll be a foul ball. He'll get one more chance at it. And that one high for ball number 3. And there's another walk. So the second run coming in, Coleman Jacqueline. Second run scored off a walk here.
Now batting first baseman number 1, Carter Sorensen.
In situations like this, I know it's not a good strategy, but I sometimes wonder if it's a better strategy to try and give a little bit easier pitch, try and get a ground ball out there, and hope your fielders help you out a little bit. Because mentally, I don't think Lai Nelson is in a good place right now. Of course, with the bases loaded, that's not really an option. And that one just catching the right side of that strike zone. Strike number 2. Lai Nelson really needs this last strike to stop the bleeding here at the top of the 3rd. And it's a hit. He won't be able to get to it in time, and the field is also missed by number 15. That will mean 2 runs coming in for Salem Hills as they rush to the dugout. So Mason McClellan and Caden Kunst score runs. And that really was not too crazy of a hit. It did bounce over the pitcher, which made it easier, but that missed field was really what caused the pain right there. Lai Nelson looking better, however, with another strike. The score now is 4-1 advantage Salem Hills. And that right there, check swing, wasn't able to stop it in time, and that'll be another strike. And now it's swung on. However, it will be a foul ball. Number 20, Kyle Coburn. Swing for the second strike here. The runner's taking generous leads. And that one almost lost by the pitcher. Or excuse me, by the catcher on a wild pitch by the pitcher. The Dons are placing a lot of confidence in Lyle Nilsson. Maybe because it's so early in the match still, they don't want to bring in their relief pitchers so soon. Hoping that he can get back in his rhythm. To count 1-2. And there's a strike. And with that, the top of the third will come to a close. The bleeding will end for the Spanish Fork Dons, however, not without being down 4-1. We'll get you back here with the second half of the third inning. However, we'd like to thank our sponsors, who are, of course, the Car Guys, Lance Wilson, State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, and Mikhail Christensen Wise, and Dickerson Automotive. These sponsors are what allow us to broadcast this baseball game to you, as well as many other things. We'd like to invite you to follow us on our social media platforms at Spanish Fork 17 on Instagram, Spanish Fork 17 on Facebook, or Spanish Fork 17 on YouTube. So just look for the Spanish Fork 17, you'll find us. You can find a lot of content on there to keep up to date with SF 17, with live broadcasts and with re-shows of old broadcasts. So we're coming in at the bottom of the third. Spanish Fork Dons looking to get back in it.
In the bottom of the third inning, left fielder number 1, Jackson Higginson.
Coming up to bat is Jackson Higginson. And that one left for a ball. That one also thrown high and left. The count 2-0. That one also left, a little low for ball number 3. Almost swung on. Higginson able to pull back in time. And that one thrown just inside the zone for strike number 1. And there's ball 4. Higginson will advance to first base, and that will bring up Brady Brook.
Now batting the center fielder number 2, Brady Brook.
He's the one Dons player so far today to score a run, of course with the assistance of his teammates. And that one thrown to the second baseman. Looks like he will get there in time. Higginson, that is. Really a weak throw by Salem Hill's catcher. Just goes short a little bit and hits the dirt. Allows Higginson that extra second of time needed to get there. However, you gotta give him props for that slide that he went getting into second. Excuse me. The count 1-0 with 0 outs here in this third inning. And Brady Brook hits that ball, will go foul, even up the count to 1-1. The wind here starting to pick up a great deal, actually, at the park. That could cause some trouble for pitchers and especially outfielders. It picks up too much more. However, it does make it more pleasant to play in. And that one hit a ground ball, just a bunt. Brady Brook allows himself enough time to get to first. That'll also advance Jackson Higginson to third base. And this start of the third is really turning out good for Spanish Fork. Looking to get back in it after that real painful top of the third. And Tanner Argyle will be coming up for the Spanish Fork Dons as their third hitter in this lineup. Or rather in this inning. And that one hit. Missed by number 27, the infielder. It's picked up and thrown in. However, that will give Jackson Higginson enough time to come in and score the second run for the Spanish Fork Dons. You'll have runners on first and second. That'll be Brady Brook and Tanner Argyle.
Now batting the pitcher number 11, Cy Nelson.
Cy Nelson's up. And that field missed. First, the pitcher decides to leave the ball for Mason McClellan, the third baseman. But when he runs in, he misses the ball too. That'll fill up the bases here, and they'll have a quick talk on the mound. Salem Hills coach wants to discuss as their team is now somehow in danger of losing this lead again after a painful, well, a great top of the third inning for them and a painful one for the Spanish Fork Dons. As I was just saying, of course, Lima Mountain Spanish Fork Dons takes a minute to discuss things themselves. And we'll have a pinch runner in on first base. Up for bat for the Dons is Briggs Newman.
Now batting the first baseman number 13, Briggs Newman.
And that one's hit, grounder. Bounced out of the third baseman's hands and over to first. That was in time to get him out. However, it did give Brady Brook enough time to score his second run of the night. So the Dons looking to pull back in this thing to score now 4-3 advantage Salem Hills.
Now batting the right fielder number 20, Brendan Bradford.
That's strike number one. It'll be Brendan Bradford up to bat. Now on hit. It looks like it'll be good, but it's right on the line there. And it's missed. It does fall in fair territory. And that will be another run for the Spanish Fork Dons. That one will be Tanner Argyle coming in for his first. But not only was that a run, it allowed Spanish Fork to get runners on second and third.
Now batting for the Dons, the catcher number 7, Josh Cowden.
So now Josh Cowden will come to bat for the Dons. It's all tied up here at the bottom of the third. And that one hit deep deep center right, and no one's there. It'll take a few bounces as we'll get 2 more runs for the Dons and maybe even a third. Nope, he decides to stay at third base. Is probably a wise move. However, in the score now, 6-4, Spanish Fork.
Now batting the
Yeah, the
third
pinch
baseman,
hitter.
number 15, Clay Newman.
Number
Number
10
8 up,
coming in for
number
the
10,
Dons
Riley Hess.
at third. Now Ty Newman coming into bat. He'll step into the box. And there's a hit, but a foul ball flying way up over our heads. The count 0-1. The umpire stopping play. And he gives a go-ahead signal. There's a hit right to the pitcher. He'll stop it, but he won't be able to collect it. But he does get it over to his first baseman in time. That will be the second out for the Spanish Fork Dons. Or sorry, against the Spanish Fork Dons.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, Andrew Pintar.
Andrew Pintar will come up to bat. The count already 1-0 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. And that one wide right. Tommy quick enough to still recover the ball. And that one hit. It'll be fair into midfield right. And caught. So with the fly ball, we'll come to the end of the third inning. The score 6-4 Spanish Fork. And with that, we'll see a commercial break and we'll see you on the other side. Stay with us.
Leading off for Salem Hills in the top
Welcome
of the
back
fourth inning.
to
Coordinating hitter number 3,
SF17 on the
Riley
Spanish Fork Community Network. You're watching the Dons versus the Salem Hills Skyhawks. And right now, the score, if you're just joining us, is 6-4 advantage Spanish Fork. And that one, thrown into the ground for a ball. Count will be 1-0. And you're joining us at the top of the fourth inning. Down thrown, what looked high, however, it will be counted as a strike. May have been counting that motion of the batter as a swing. That one will be thrown on the inside for ball number 2. It's Cam Mitziela up to bat. Down hit, but foul ball with a heavy backspin. So the count even at 2-2. Down thrown just to the outside corner for strike number 3. So number 22, Blake Hoffins, will come for his chance at bat.
Shortstop number 22, Blake Hoffins.
There's the shortstop for Salem Hills. That'll be strike number 1. Ryan Nelson certainly looking better in this inning. That will be strike number 2. Swung on. It looked a little low and inside, but swing will bring up strike number 2 nonetheless. And that one tipped. Just tipped to save Blake of the third strike. So he'll get one more chance at it. And as I was talking about earlier, it really is great weather for a baseball game today. It's low 50s. That one hit for a foul ball. Count remains 0-2 with 1 out in the inning. Really is great weather for baseball, low 50s. The only thing is the wind is beginning to pick up. We'll see if that continues. That one hit. It will be fair right inside of that line. They'll throw it over to first in time to get it out. And they'll throw a wraparound and come back to the pitcher. This will bring up
Now batting center fielder number 10, Coleman Jacklin.
Coleman Jacklin. Seems Tommy Olson's not batting. Down thrown high and tight for ball 1. Almost hitting the batter. A nice pitch right down the middle. Looks like Coleman may just not have been ready for that one as he watches it fly by. That one hit. However, it will be a foul ball. Strike number 2. And that one looks like what would have been a ball. However, oh, no, it will be a ball. He signaled over to his co-umpire, who said that it was not a swing attempt. And there's strike number 3. So Spanish Fork able to keep the Salem Hills Skyhawks scoreless in that top of the 4th. So we'd like to take a moment here in this break to thank our sponsors, which of course are Two Jacks Pizza, The Car Guys, Lance Wilton State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Mikkel Christensen Wise, and Dickerson Automotive. They do so much to allow us to bring this content to you. And of course, we'd like to invite you to follow us on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Just look for the Spanish Fork 17, as that's our handle on all of those social media platforms. With that, you can keep up with all of our broadcasts, live and post. We'd like to thank our camera guys, of course, working hard there, top of the dugout. And as you saw that shot a second ago, it looks like there's starting to get quite a few people here in the bleachers. Start of the game, it was a little scarce, but now it's starting to really fill up. So if you're just joining us, the score is 6-4 advantage Spanish Fork with a wild 3rd inning. And that one hit. Looks like it will be foul, however, for the first strike. As I was saying, we had a wild 3rd inning. Up to that, the score was 1-0 advantage Spanish Fork. Then with 4 walks thrown by the Spanish Fork Dons, and Salem Hills, with those 4 walks, as that one comes in for strike number 2, was able to get a couple hits as well and move the score up 4-1. But then Spanish Fork came back with 5 runs in a single inning. So they're up again 2 points on the scoreboard. Count 0-2 here. Now on hit, another foul ball into the fence. Jackson Higginson, you see he's up to bat. And that one wide for ball number 1. The count 1-2. Another foul ball. So I believe that's his 3rd foul ball being up to bat. He also had 1 strike, not off a foul ball. And that one in the ground for ball number 2. Jackson Higginson coming in to this inning with already 1 run and a couple hits. And another foul ball. His 4th foul ball, just staying alive. And foul ball number 5. This guy has just made up his mind that he's going to swing on everyone, and somehow he's still hitting them. And that one he does not. Still swinging. He comes up with air. So he'll return to the dugout. That will be out number 1. I'll bring up
Now batting center
Brady
fielder
Brook.
number 2, Brady Brook.
He's already scored 2 runs tonight. And he hits it again on his first try. It looks like it will be foul, however. And it is. The outfielder's running to try and catch that fly ball. They will not get to it in time. He'll return to the batter's box. But Brady Brook has really been slugging it here. He comes out in the first inning and hits on the first pitch. In the third, he starts him up again. He hits it again, however, it will go right to the first baseman, and that will be an out. Out number 2, which will bring up Tanner Argyle, another good hitter for the Spanish Fork Dons.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Tanner Argyle.
That one tipped. Foul ball. Flying just over the umpire's head. That one hit high into center field. That will be caught. So, the 4th inning finishes up. And we'll have the score
In the bottom of the 4th
6
inning, the Dons had no runs on, no
6-4
hits.
advantage Spanish Fork Dons. We'll see you on the other side.
No runners left on. Leading off the Salem
Welcome
Hills
back
in the top of
to
the 5th inning,
Spanish
right
Fork
fielder
Community
number 8,
Network.
Caleb
And SF-17 is proud to present this baseball game between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Salem Hills Skyhawks. If you're just joining us, we're at the top of the 5th. The score 6-4, advantage Dons. We'll get our first pitch here of the inning. And that one thrown low. Luckily no one on base. So the Dons able to collect. That'll be Ly Nilsson throwing his first ball of the inning. The count 1-0. And that one thrown in for a strike. That one tipped over the catcher's head. That will be strike number 2. The count 1-2. Up to bat right now, I'm sorry to have missed that, is Caleb Centeno. He'll step back into the batter's box. And there will be strike number 3. He'll return to the dugout. And coming up to bat will be Mason McClellan, one of the 4 players to have scored a run.
Now batting the 3rd baseman, number 27, Mason McClellan.
However, he is one of them, I believe, who scored his run purely off of walks, or rather he got over to third base off of walks, and then his teammate hit a ground ball to get him into home, him along with Caden Kunst. The count here 1-0. That one inside for a strike. And that one hit long and high. The fly ball, however, will be caught. And that will be out number 2. The Dons looking to close out this inning quickly. So that'll bring up Caden Kunst, number 2. Plays left field. And that's his first strike. Caden Kunst is a hard one to strike out. He has a fairly small strike zone as he crouches over there for his hit. Not a very tall guy, and also has a good stance. That one he will swing on, making it his second strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here at the top of the 5th. And that one hit. The pitcher will get a piece of it, but he won't be able to collect. That'll give Kunst enough time to get to first base. And really, he maybe could have tried for second. I mean, it would have been very risky, but none of the Spanish Fork players even collected that thing for a good 5 seconds after he had passed the base. That will bring up number 15, Cade Hancock, and Spanish Fork will take a quick meeting here at the mound. And you know, Spanish Fork, as we said coming into this, is definitely the favorite here, as they have many powerful hitters and a good pitcher in Lai Nilsson. However, they need to start taking this thing with some urgency, as there's been a lot of ground balls in the infield that just no one has gone after. And I mean, the score, they're only up by 2. And seeing how Salem Hills can score 4 in 1 inning, they can't let that lead lull them into comfort. And it doesn't look like they will. They'll be wanting to call a change-up here. Kyle Coburn looks like will be coming in as a relief pitcher. Coach leaves the mound with a few final instructions for his team. And Kyle Coburn will begin to warm up. It's in situations like these that, as I was saying earlier, coaches can really use the time to get their teams in a better mental state, waiting for the pitcher to be ready to go. If you're just joining us here, the score is 6-4 advantage Spanish Fork Dons. We're in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. Spanish Fork Dons trying to close this one out and get back on the offensive end of the ball. Braden Bradford, the new pitcher up.
Now batting for Salem, the pitcher number 15, Cade Hancock.
And Cade Hancock will come in to bat the Salem Hill Skyhawks. Cade Hancock, one of those that helped with the scoring of all those runs. And that will be a wild pitch which will allow the first baseman to advance to second. Not a good start for Kyle Coburn. Or excuse me, for Brendan Bradford. That will be 1 ball, 0 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. That one wide right for a ball. Even counted 2-0. That one hit high, but it won't be long. The shortstop looking to make the catch, and he does. That'll bring the top of the 3rd to an end. And we'll get you back in a second with the bottom of the 3rd. However, in the meantime, I'd like to thank our sponsors for all they do. They are, of course, the car guys, Lance Wilson from State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Christensen Wise, and Dickerson Automotive. These guys make it possible for us to bring you all these high school sport games and many other things here on SFCN. I'd like to also invite you, of course, to follow our social media platforms where you can keep up to date with guys like this guy, our crew from Spanish Fork 17, as well as keep up with broadcasts that we'll do, both live and post or reruns. I'd like to thank all of our crew for what they do for us, standing out here in the sun on top of the dugouts. Not easy climbing up there, I'll tell you that. Sometimes you gotta do it on a ladder. I've been in that position before. Anyway, we'll get you back here with the bottom of the 5th inning. Spanish Fork able to keep the Skyhawks scoreless in the last 2 innings. No one has scored since the 3rd. We'll see if the Dons can put together another couple runs here. That one thrown in for a strike. Up to bat, of course, is Lai Nilsson for the Spanish Fork Dons. That one thrown low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one hit a grounder to the shortstop. He will throw to first base and high, too high. He'll miss it, and Lai Nilsson will get all the way to second base. And a mistake like that is very costly for the Salem Hills. They really should have had that one in hand. Easy throw, really. He had plenty of time to do it, but just throws it a little bit high. First baseman wasn't even able to jump to reach it. So instead of an out, you have a runner at first, or runner at second, excuse me. And Briggs Newman up to bat. Kite Hancock will look back to second base and try and keep his runner honest. And that one, very high for a ball. Catcher's able to collect it in time. And that one a grounder past the third baseman, past the shortstop, and over to the left field. He'll throw it back in, but not before Lai Nilsson advances to third and Briggs Newman gets on base.
Now batting, the pitcher
That'll
number
bring up,
20,
of course, Brendan Bradford.
Number 19, Noah Conway.
Brendan Bradford being switched in for pitching in that last inning. Able to close it out, however, really with the help of his fielders with that last fly ball. And they'll have a meeting here at the mound wanting to discuss their strategy. It looks like he will be keeping Cade Hancock in to pitch So far, he's just giving them a talk. Yep, Hancock will remain at the mound. As they'll wait a minute for Spanish Fork to break their huddle. And runners will return to first and third. Brandon Bradford up to hit. He'll throw to first. Runner will get back in time, however. And that one just tipped. Brandon trying to stop his swing before it was too late. He realized that would have been a ball. Oh, it doesn't matter. Foul ball either way, and it'll be the first strike. He throws it again to first. Able to get back in time again. Kid Hancock really keeping the runners honest here. And there is a bunt. However, it goes a little bit too far and too far left, being a foul ball for the second strike. So Bradford steps back into the batter's box. And another throw to first. Hancock is really keeping this runner honest. He really isn't taking that big of a lead off. But he keeps throwing it nonetheless. Trying to make sure he doesn't try anything. That one thrown low for ball number one. That one hit, grounder to the shortstop. He'll stop it. Oh no, he won't. It rolls past him to the left field, and he fumbles around with it for a minute. That will bring Lyon Nelson in for another run. That will be his second run of the ball game. It'll also let Brandon Bradford advance to first, so you got runners on first and second.
Running speed up, number 13, Carson Chappell.
Chris Cowden will come in for his turn at bat. So if you're just joining us, the score now will be 7-4 advantage the Spanish Fork Dons. Josh Cowden getting some instructions from his hitting coach there in the dugout. And there's a tip ball. It'll be high into foul territory. Catcher almost getting it to it in time, but it'll simply be a strike. And Josh Cowden will come back. And that may have been what his coach just told him to do. He'll signal to him some more right here, instructing Josh Cowden on how to go about this hit. And that one straight inside for a strike. That one hit. It'll be high and into foul territory, over the fence and into the stands. Those ones you hate as a catcher, knowing you could have got to them if that blasted fence wasn't in the way. I will make some fan happy, getting a free baseball. Not exactly the same as getting a baseball from a major league game, but take what you get. And that one swung on. That will be the third strike. Josh Cowden will head to the dugout. Bring in Taya Newman, number 15. Drive his turn at bat. Right now there is one out. Not a strike. Taya Newman almost swung on that one. Thought it was going to be low. However, the umpire maybe being a little generous there. Gave him a strike, saying it was just in that bottom corner. That one high will be ball number 1. The count now 1-1 with 1 out. Down hit high. He'll be going and caught. That'll be out number 2 on that fly ball. We have not seen particularly good pitching here in this game, as the score is 7-4. However, based on the pitching, it should maybe even be higher. There has been some good fielding done by Spanish Fork and really some luck on both sides, as there's been many foul balls. That one going foul. That'll be 0-1 the count. See the runner leading off at second base. And that one a ball in the dirt. Runners will return to their bases, however, not wanting to try anything. First and second are full. And Cade Hancock looking to give them a little bit of a scare there. But he'll return, ready to throw another pitch. Down thrown just in that corner to get strike number 2. And another ball in the dirt. Situations like these, you have to wonder if it's miscommunication between the catcher and the batter, or if it's just bad pitches. And that one hit to left field. It's long. It could be caught, but it's not. It's missed. Left fielder can't get to it in time. That will bring in 2 runs for the Dons, and this third runner will stay at second. So the score now 9-4, advantage Spanish Fork. The Skyhawks really were looking to get out of this 5th inning without any more damage being done. They'll take a second here, though, to talk to their pitcher, Cade Hancock. Give him a nice friendly pat on the back there.
Now batting number 9, Caden Berry.
That one, a strike, catching that corner. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here. I believe that's number 9, Caden. That one in for a strike. And that one hit high in the air. And bad communication there between the pitcher and the catcher. They let it fall in between them, not realizing they were still in fair territory. They don't throw to first, and that allows an easy little stroll down to first base for the Dons runner.
Now batting the center fielder, number 2.
They'll bring in a pinch runner here, Jackson Higginson. And Brody Brook will come in to hit for the Dons. Already having 2 runs tonight himself. And that one coming right directly over my head for a foul ball. And this is the kind of aggression you want to see from Spanish Fork. Like I was saying earlier in the broadcast, especially on the defensive end of the ball, they seemed a little lackadaisical. Now at that second hit, it will be a foul ball. Strike number 2 with 0 balls. As I was saying, looking a little lackadaisical when they were in the outfield, not really rushing for things, even though they were only up by 2. In this inning, they have really put their foot on the throat and scored 3 more runs, making the score 9-4. And with 2 outs and 2 strikes, it could come to an end here, but they are still looking to push, still having everyone warming up, expecting that this run will continue. And that one on the inside for a ball. Jackson Higginson steals a base. I think this bounce hit over the pitcher and back to first in time for an out. And good thing too is that was a very painful inning for the Skyhawks, which brings the score to 9-4 there at the bottom of the 5th. We'll take a short break and see you on the other side. Welcome back here on SFCN for Spanish Fork 17's presentation of this baseball game between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Salem Hills Skyhawks. If you're just joining us, the score is 9-4 advantage Dons, and we'll be bringing you in at the top of the 6th inning. Quick score update for local baseball. Maple Mountain just beat Springville, score 3-2. So you'll want to keep an eye on that if you're checking for the standings or for your friends and family on those teams. And the count now 1-0. That one will be thrown in for a strike, eating up the count at 1-1. And coming to pitch is again Brendan Bradford, the relief pitcher. There's another strike. Looks like it was turning out to be a good move, bringing him in that last inning. That one hit high. It will be in foul territory, but the catcher looking to make the catch. He will miss it just barely. He got his glove on it, but wasn't able to collect. That will bring the count to 1-2. But at least give Carter Sorensen one more chance to get his bat on this thing. That one very wide and low, almost in the dirt. Count evens up at 2-2. That one hit Left field, the shortstop will get it past to first. And that will be good. He will get that out, and they'll open up the inning solidly with one
Now
out.
batting second baseman number 20, Kyle Coburn.
And Carter Sorensen will head to the dugout. Now bring in Kyle Coburn, who will not swing on a first ball thrown by Bradford. That one hit. It bounces. Third baseman gets it over to first, and the signal is safe. That was very close. I would have thought it out. The coach wants to talk a little bit. However, the umpire will walk away. So that will not amount to anything. Number 3, Cam Matsila, coming into bat. That one being a strike. Matsila obviously didn't think so as he stood stand still. And now on hit, bounces to the pitcher. He'll throw to first. Good decision to get an out there. Brendan Bradford, thinking quick enough, was able to take a quick glance to second to see that there really was not enough time for a throw. Got it to first. Didn't take the risk of getting a double play, but got one solid out. So that will mean the Skyhawks have a runner at second, and that will be a hit, but it will be a foul ball. So strike number 1. Up for bat here is Blake Hoffins, seen on the screen. And that one will bounce in the dirt. That will allow it advance to third base. Oh, it looks like the batter was hit on that one, so he'll return to second base. Number 3, Kamatsila. Or sorry, number 20, Kyle Coburn. But that will allow Blake Hoffins to come to first base. Just Cowden catching that one and throwing it back to the pitcher. The count already 1-1. That one another strike. The count 1-2. Coleman Jacklin looking to avoid giving the Dons their third out of the inning. That one a ball. Wisely holding back is Coleman Jacklin. Again, we have runners at first and second leading off quite a bit. Now in a ball. Bring it to a full count with 2 outs. Down, hit left, and into foul territory. Count remains full. That will be a ball. They'll send Coleman Jacklin to first. The base is loaded now. Caleb
Now
Centeno.
batting right fielder number 8, Caleb Centeno.
He'll come up to bat. And now on a strike. Almost swung on by Caleb. The Dons really need Brandon to get another out here. With 3 runners on base. This could theoretically be brought to within 1. The count 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. There's a ball. Count will go to 1-2. Another ball, evening up the count at 2-2. This should be the pitch that you really see Brendan giving a what he would want to be a strike, wanting to play around with the batter before this. That one's short. It will roll foul. Lucky for the Dons, as that one would have been a score by the Skyhawks. Kyle Coburn, who passed first, will return to his place at third base. Brendan Bradfield will get one more chance at ending this inning. Moments like this are really the turning points for games, because you see this inning could end without any runs being scored by the Skyhawks. And it does, that one being a strike. So they'll return to their dugouts, and we'll come back in a second with the bottom of the 6th. However, first we'd like to thank our sponsors. They are, of course, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson Estate Farm, The Car Guys, Two Jacks Pizza, Dickerson Automotive, and Mikkel Christensen Wise. Thanks to these guys, we're able to bring you these shows every single week, and you can come back over and over again to SF17. We'd also like to encourage you to follow us on our social media platforms, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. With that, you can keep up to date with our broadcast and our latest shows, as well as our staff here at SF17. Salem Hills here is warming up.
Now pitching for Salem Hills, number 14, Eastman Pratt.
You got number 14 coming in as a relief pitcher, Eastman Pratt. And it's not a surprise here. I think it's always smart when a coach brings in a relief pitcher at the beginning of an inning. Just gives more confidence to both the pitcher going out and the pitcher going in. And more time to warm up. That's a grounder. Or rather a pitch into the ground. That one will be again thrown very low, bounced off the catcher for ball number 2. And that one hit high and caught. The center fielder making an excellent catch there for the first out. That'll bring up Lai Nilsson.
Now batting right fielder number 11, Cy Nielsen.
And that one a strike. And Nelson pulling back, thinking that it won't be in strike territory. However, it will be called regardless. That one swung on but missed for strike number 2. Interesting strategy on that last one, looking like he was trying to bunt it, then pulling back at the last second. It's very odd to try and bunt when there's no one on base. With that one, looks like he may have just been trying to throw the pitcher off. Bounce swung on, tipped. Will be another foul ball. So the count remained at 0-2 with 1 out. And that one close to being swung on. He stopped the bat just in time, though referred over to the other umpire, who will say it is good. Or not a strike. So you got a 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one swung on. Will also fly into foul territory. Number 14 Eastman is doing a solid job of pitching so far until that pitch, of course, which flies high and far. But his outfielder saves the day and gets that fly ball, which will get them 1 more out, bringing the outs to 2 in this inning.
Now batting first baseman number 14, Briggs Newman.
That'll bring Briggs Newman to the batter's box. That one low for ball number 1. So the pitching or the overall defense from the Skyhawks in this inning has been great. Very solid pitching until that last pitch you saw a couple pitches ago, but that one caught by the left fielder. That one thrown a little low for ball 2. The count now 2-1. That one also low, ball 3. Dangerous territory here for Eastman. And that'll be ball 4. Briggs will get an easy one. Heading over to first base.
Now batting the pitcher number 20, Brendan Bradford.
The Dons coach will take a minute to discuss some matters with the umpire. Looks like he's probably calling in some batting changes.
Now batting number 6, Parker Harrison.
And it looks like we have a pinch hitter here. Number 6. And he hits it deep. And an error on that fielding will allow the runners to advance to third and second. And it's little mistakes like that will come back to bite you in games like this. Obviously, the runners would have probably, regardless, got on base.
Now batting the catcher number 7, Josh.
But now you got runners on second and third, with Josh Cowden coming to bat. And I'll take a second to discuss things at the mound. Looks like it will only be a second. Catcher just wanted to get something straight with his pitcher. And this is the time that Spanish Fork could really break this thing open. The score already 9-4 But if they can score a couple more runs right here, it will really take the gas out of the Salem Hills team. Now on foul ball. That'll bring the count to 1-1. Down high for ball number 2. Cowden sees that and doesn't even budge. Out inside, even up the count at 2-2. So we have 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here at the bottom of the 6th inning. And another strike. So that will be 3 outs, bringing us to the end of the 6th inning. The score, 9-4, advantage Dons. We'll take a short break. Hope to see you in a minute. Welcome back to today's matchup between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Salem Hills Skyhawks. If you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. Today, the score so far is 9-4. We're coming into the top of the 7th inning. And it's been a fairly wild game. We've had, at the beginning, it starting off slow, the Dons scoring 1 run there in the 1st inning, then no one scored in the 2nd. In the 3rd inning, there was 4 walks, leading to eventually 4 runs for the Salem Hills Skyhawks, but then Spanish Fork came back with 5 runs of their own, and then Spanish Fork scoring 3 more in the 5th. So now here in the 7th, we've been scoreless since then, but the Salem Hills Skyhawks need to put together something here if they want to keep this ball game going. Up to bat is Mason McClellan for the Salem Hills Skyhawks. And that one looked almost like a check swing. It will be a ball. The count 1-1 here. Down hit, a grounder just past the shortstop, and he'll get to base. Wisely stays there at first.
Now batting left fielder number 2, Caden Coons.
Caden Coons is up to bat for the Skyhawks. That one low, a ball. And Brendan Bradford has really done a good job since coming in as relief pitcher. And there's a hit over to the shortstop. He'll catch it, but not in time to get either player out. Coons taking a heroic dive there at first. Really no need, as there was no throw attempted. However, they will both get on base.
Now batting number 15, the catcher, Cade Hancock.
Number 15, Cade Hancock will come up to bat here. As I was just saying, Salem Hills Skyhawks need to score in this inning in order to extend the game. And with these first 2 hitters, they've done a great job putting themselves in a position to do that. Now the pressure is all on Brendan Bradford to throw some really good pitches, as well as the fielders to stop any advancement at this point. They can't afford much error here, as that one's thrown for a strike, bringing the count even at 1-1. Down low in the dirt. Ball number 2. Going to count 2-1 as the runners return to their bases. Down also low for another ball. The count now 3-1. Brendan Bradford having a hard time here in the top of the 7th. Down tipped. It's high. Shortstop calls everyone off, and he made the catch. Just a simple play, but it's easy to mess those ones up. When everyone's watching you, there's a lot of pressure. Nonetheless, the Dons will get their first out of this inning. They need 2 more to bring home the W. Down hit high and long. And it's also caught. So with 2 fly balls, the Dons get their 2 first outs of the inning. They'll need 1 more.
Now batting the second baseman, number 20, Kyle Coburn.
Coming up is number 20, Kyle Coburn, into the batter's box. He also gets a hit. That one will be far left. However, that will be in foul territory. A lot of people getting excited here, but they'll have to wait at least 1 more hit. The count 0-1. Down thrown inside for strike number 2. Brendan Bradford needs 1 more strike to bring this thing home. And he does it. That's strike number 3, which will be out number 3. Bring home the W for the Spanish Fork Dons. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with the player of the game and some highlights for you. Stay close. Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Here we got the post game for the Spanish Fork versus the Salem Hills Skyhawks baseball game, just ending minutes ago. Spanish Fork coming away with a win, 9-4. We had a great game today. We saw a slow start. Spanish Fork scoring 1 run in the first inning. But then we saw something crazy happen. What I have not seen in a long time is there were 4 runs in a row, allowing the Salem Hills Skyhawks to score 4 runs in the top of the 3rd. However, Spanish Fork came right back with 5 runs of their own in the bottom, and from there led the rest of the way. However, we want to give a player of the game award, and today we're going to give it to Brendan Bradford, who's the relief pitcher. And Brendan came in, he didn't necessarily play the most flawless game. He still had some hits. However, after that meltdown in the 3rd inning, Brendan came in and gave the team stability again and got them out of the tough situation they needed to get out of, and kept the Salem Hills Skyhawks scoreless for the rest of the time. And that's what gave them the victory here, and not only gave them the victory, but gave them the victory in 7 innings. So him, along with the entire batters crew, did excellent tonight for the Spanish Fork Dons, including 2 runs coming in from Brady Brook. And so with that, we'll leave you and wish you a wonderful evening today, and invite you to come and join us again, or to rewatch the broadcast on any of our social media platforms. But signing off, I'm Ben Morey for Spanish Fork 17. Thank you, and have a good day.